flowchart, and you can like do anything in it. It's like a white canvas, and you can just simply put anything in it as long as you have connections to your DCS. So basically, it's a procedural. You have like conditions for you to do like something that can be pushed to DCS. Basically, that's how we do procedural. So why did we go for procedural in the first place? There is this thing in MLNG that we call as the heart of MLNG, which is the main cryogenic heat exchanger. And back in 2006, and there is issues on the MCHE itself where when we do not have control over the temperature at the MCHE, it caused tube leak, and it reduced the reliability of the MCHE itself, meaning that if we don't have like higher productions because of this tube leak, and the LNG that is supposed to be converted to LNG is going to inside our refrigerant, which is why tube leak is like a huge issue for us. Then we will be introduced by, I think it was Shell back then, and this exapilot is basically, you have like a lot of parameters to be adjusted during plant startup. For MCHE itself, when you have like a refrigerant, two different refrigerant that is coming into the heat exchanger, once you adjust one of the parameter at the top, for example, it will impact the entire MCHE. So when you have like a thermal shock because of the adjustment, maybe just a small adjustment from the refrigerant, it causes like a huge impact to our MCHE. Which is why we go forward towards the usage of exapilot. It's a standardization. When you have like what do you call that? Conditions for you to adjust something, and it can overview the whole unit itself. It gives you like a better amount of adjustment towards like your manipulator variable. That is what we call as standardizations, because you can like simply copy any of your procedure from one plant to another plant. There's no requirement for you to do from scratch for another plant. That's why we go for the standardization using the exapilot. It's kind of hard to use automations in DCS itself, because there's a lot of things that you might want to adjust in the next round of commissioning. And then the next one is optimizations. You see, when you want to do startup is like require tacit knowledge from the operation itself. From one person to another, there will be like a different type of understanding on how startup is supposed to be done. So when you have like one person experience says the other, and the other person say the other, then if you were able to combine these two tacit knowledge in one procedure, exapilot is the answer for us. And we are able to optimize in terms of the time that is required to perform startup plan using exapilot. And then the next one is operator empowerment. We do not try to remove operator in the picture. Yes, there is automation, but then the operator itself has like a lot of things for them to monitor during the startup. So we are trying to remove one part, which is the important part in the startup, which is at the heart of MLNG, and the rest of the things that is like not required for you to have like a interdependent variable to be monitored. That one we leave it to operations to continue to monitor and adjust. And then the next one. This is quite new for us, which is IPC integrations, because when you do startup, right, it started from final cool down, and then we go towards production ramp up. This part we are using exapilot, and then we integrate to ABC, which is also a Yokogawa product base, and then we have like a shared logic in between for us to move from exapilot and also the ABC base. And then the last one is the continuous improvement. we do not like stop at any point where we say macam, oh, it's already perfect, so we stop at that. We keep on trying to improve our exabyted product by having like a lot of things to be learned from those who's using it, and then we do have like certain kind of workshop to all of the users to get all of the feedback from the last time we used exabyted. These are all the challenges when we are using, when we are trying to do manual startup. First, the multiple interdependent variable. Like I said, for example, when you are trying to adjust like something at the compressor side, once you adjust one parameter at the compressor side, the whole MCHD is going to be changing. For example, if you increase the IGV of a compressor, for sure there will be like more load of the refrigerant, which means that you are having a lot more of cooling duty towards the MCHD, which is why it's going to show the whole MCHD going to be cooled down. But if you, for example, if you change just the light mixed refrigerant, it will show like only at the top part. So when you have like different changes to each of the parameter, it will show a lot of things going to change at the same time. When we have like a means of monitoring all of these variables at the same time, we use exapilot to help you to check. Instead of having like just monitoring, you have like something that can calculate all of the things in the exapilot. And then the next one is very important because the way that we see exapilot is a means of standardization, and you are able to shorten the time for you to do the startup. You are able to reduce the flaring amount that is, when you are supposed to be a product, you become a flaring, so we are able to reduce the amount of flaring. And the next one, operator workload. You see, when you do the when you do the startup, there's a lot of things for you to monitor. It's from the upstream up until you go to the tank gauge. All of the things needs to be monitored by, like, for example, if you don't have like enough manpower, you have only one person to do the startup. So this workload is being given only to one person during the startup. And exapilot is actually taking like a huge bunch of the workload from panel, and the panel operators can actually do something else that is like more valuable during that period. And then the different philosophy between like one shift to another. Like each shift normally has like their own beliefs. Like this shift say macam you are supposed to have this kind of adjustment during this period, but the other shift said no, you are not supposed to. Like for example, we want to do like a forward flow from our flare LDS system towards the rundown. There's like a different kind of definitions of when we are supposed to go to the rundown. So when we have like a session that can give these people to agree to one what do you call that? It's like agree to one parameter that is for everyone to monitor during the startup. It can actually become standardized up until like maybe not only during this period but until the next future generations. This is why MLNG is like going towards exapilot. And then our automation philosophy, we're starting with the you gather all of the experienced operators and you gather all of the information from the procedure, and then you combine it into one cohesive automation, which is exapilot. You see, every cycle raises the bar. Like right now, since I think it's like around 2020 when we started to become more active in using ExaPilot, we started with only final cool down. And then the next round of ExaPilot, we combine it with production and up. And then the next round of the startup, we combine it with APC. So every single time that we have like a long period of shutdown, we keep on having things for us to improve the ExaPilot itself. So it's never going to stop at only one stage. So it's either it's going to be like one automation, and the next time it's going to be like two separate automation, and the next time it's going to be like two automation combined into one. So there will be like keeps on having improvement in our ExaPilot. And then the next best practice from MLNG, one continuous automated handover, meaning that we are trying our best not to have operator to meddle in between. Like for example, when you have like a final cooldown, and then in between final cooldown to production and up, normally that there's a gap that we cannot define why there's a gap. It could be like anything. It could be like because of the shift handover, so you don't have like manpower in between. But if you have like a mean to remove that gap because of the shift handover, ExaPilot is the answer for us, because you are no longer relying on the operator to keep on having the plant startup continue. So during that period, like for example, sometimes after you have your plant startup, and then somehow it ends at the shift handover, and then after shift handover, nobody is not going to start right away after the panel comes. There will be like a lot of things happen in between that cost us money, because you have time that is supposed to be one drop of energy, it becomes like just idling time. So we are trying to go for a continuous handover. So there will be like as much as possible not idling time. And the next one is the one start. I wouldn't say this one is like really realized just yet. We already have the tools, but there are still things that we trying to fix here and there. So when the panel operator click on the start button, you see the ExaPilot will execute, and then it will check all of the completion criteria. It will not be dependent on the operator except when there's like some plant upset. So all of the criteria needs to be automated in the ExaPilot itself for it to determine whether you want to end or you are just going to keep on continue until you reach the completion criteria. And then the transfer handle. We have like a flexibility for panel operator to choose whether you want to continue certain manipulated variable is being used in the ExaPilot. For example, right now we have issues with LNG valve. So when we have issues with LNG valve itself, and it can only be controlled in manual, for example. So we have the flexibility for operator to deselect that handle, so it becomes the DV inside the ExaPilot itself. Like for example, you know, because it's like the warmer stream in our MCHE, when you have like a higher temperature at the